extra mileage there. If PSG are able to shut Gwen down, could lead into a chain gank. In the meantime, looking across these lanes right here, it still looks like things are quite favorable for PSG in the raw laning phase. We will see how they play out this level 1. So far, we've had very quiet starts. No one willing to push shenanigans, but with Kaiwing on Braum, I have an inkling that that might not be the case this time around. We're taking a look across the rift. No one spotted so far just yet. Could be hiding in any of these brushes. And no, it's a game pause.
What better way to finish out this 5-game series, marathon series, than to start out with a pause? And it does look like it might be a bit of a lengthy pause too, because we already see Husha taking his headset off. So that's never a good sign. Hopefully it's not as long as the TSM one.
Oh, please don't jinx it, please. Oh boy, I woke up and I was like eating lunch and I'm like, what? TSM is still on? That's not their usual schedule. And I looked in, it's like, oh boy. Yeah. I hope we get into the game soon. It looks like an issue with Husha's computer right here. He does get nervous at times, so see if things are all fixed. Looks like we're going right back into game. Yeah, everything looks normal. The players are already talking, so that typically means that the issue has been resolved. You can't really talk in these extended breaks here. You know, it gives teams extra time to kind of figure out their composition. So if the teams are talking, usually means that we should be coming in game pretty soon. Maybe just doing this short audio check here. We're listening in on production, see if they have any updates on the situation right here.
Yeah.
We're back into the game. We got that from our production. So
there we go.
Just a short pause. I am absolutely relieved. I do not want to see a 2-hour marathon drawn out for absolutely no reason. I don't enjoy this series that much. Okay, you know, I would much rather have game time.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. And we'll see. It will be Unsealed Spellbook for both of these mid laners. And even a spellbook for Kino. So
yeah,
maybe a lot of focus around these objectives. Maybe that's the game plan shift, is that, hey,
double smite.
Yeah, if we can't win these smite battles, we'll just bring more of them.
Okay, that's an interesting take. We'll see if it works out here. Biggest thing to note, of course, is this mid lane. The last time we saw it, it was a bit of a disaster for Minji.
Yep.
Like you said, it's not always it's a bit of a skill matchup. You know, it doesn't always go inside of the Swain. So we'll see if it works out this time. A big thing to note here is in the level 1s, we do have Beyond Gaming spotting out Bury already. They know he's started the red and gone down for the bot lane. So we'll see if they can kind of use that timing difference in the jungle pathing here. Meantime, Vi still going towards the top side.
And it does look like both of these junglers will end towards this bot lane, which is a little bit different from our previous games. It was more of a bot to top approach, but
we see the pings going down here.
Okay.
Husha probably going to pay a visit over to Swain. He's taking the long route around. He knows that Bury's on the bottom side of the map. This is going to be difficult for Gory. Gory, I think he senses something. In comes the flash into the charm, and they get the damage. Beautiful stuff.
It does involve them burning both of their flashes, but a well-executed first blood at just under 3 minutes coming in for BYG, and this is the start they needed. Get Minji that extra gold. He's going to have that kill thrown into him. It's not going to be an assist, and that will also allow him to reset here, get this wave crashed in, and get a big buy for himself.
Yeah, a much better start for Minji. This time around, he's going to get the extra gold to pad his stats here. It all really started with that early warding down, so good job by Beyond Gaming. Meanwhile, we get a look at how Hanabi can play this champion. He's trading very well here. Leakai has no flash. Bury coming in.
He's dead.
Leakai is, yeah, he's got no window. So he's just going to save everything here. Not going to use the Ignite. He does fall down. Gives the kill over to Hanabi.
Yeah, good answer coming in from the side of PSG. Of course, into the Aatrox, you'd like that extra heal cut coming in from the Ignite. But definitely a situation where, as the game progresses, he might really miss out on not having the Ghost. As it could be hard for him to stick on to some of these targets, especially when there's a Braum in the game. Does so well into these melee champions or low-range compositions. But at the very least, BYG, they have a good start to the game, get really the weak point of the sore point of their last couple games involved early on, and maybe that opens up the rest of the map, because we saw in game number 3, he fell behind, couldn't roam with the Talia. Game number 4, the Swain was just immovable. So game number 5, everything
the
on
charm
the table.
lands, instant flash in, Ignite goes down, Gory dies for the second time, and Beyond Gaming, they get the chain gank to go through.
They're learning, Clemens. They finally picked a page out of the recipe to defeat CFO, right? It's chain ganking mission. Yeah, and here they managed to find back-to-back ganks onto Gory. Gory still has the flash available, but who cares? You've gotten two kills on this mid laner, slowing him so far down, denying him a lot of EXP here.
I'm not sure Mission would, or Gory would enjoy that comparison, but I think there's some kernels of truth in there. We do have a great start here, and I think the biggest thing, as you mentioned, is just Minji and Husha, for the first time in a long time in this series, can start moving across the map. We have that bottom lane that should be pushed in most cases here, so could start to get a little bit dangerous. Minji going to take a bad trade here, but he's has so much of gold lead, it doesn't really matter. In the meantime, Husha is going to start out this Drake uncontested here. It doesn't look like Bury is going to come here.
And that's the big change, right? Because you're able to keep Gory down.
Gory coming in.
You have to be careful with how he pass here, but it'll be fine. They have a strong mid laner play around. And yeah, so these trades look so much different, right? Because you're not fighting into a lost chapter Swain. Instead, you're fighting into a mana crystal Swain. So the base damages are much different. And that has helped considerably. We'll have the ultimate now to maintain his safety along with the flash coming
Hanabi
up
could be in a bit of trouble here. We see a 3-man collapse, but he makes it out just in time. Good spider senses there coming in by Hanabi. And looking at the bot lane here, still a very sizable CS advantage on the side of Unified. Of course, a lot of it due to that Drake take here. But so far, that's the only shining spot on the map for PSG. Kino face checks. This one's going to take a lot of damage, but able to get out.
It's out before the stun procs, which is really nice there. And for BYG, up in this top side, Lee Kai holding up so far. Hasn't had a great lane phase in any of these games, really, except for the Fiora, but even then was still behind in the CS department. Of course, had the scaling factor. This game will still have a little bit of a scaling factor, although now it's going to have some friends to visit him. Did use the ward in the top bush, so it's going to come down to spider senses.
In comes Bury. He does have the ultimate. He's holding it there, but Lee Kai holding onto his E, and with the use of his Hollowed Mist is going to get out scot-free.
Yep. And Hanabi on the Aatrox, taking his chance onto this champion, also going for the Eclipse build.
I want to say this is Hanabi's actually least played top laner in the postseason so far. We'll see Hanabi getting kind of poked down, but he knows the buy is coming, so just backs out. And we do have Husha now starting out onto this Herald. This is getting a little bit out of hand here. PSG doesn't look like they have any will to contest this one either. They're looking for a potential cut down onto Blanco. Let's see if Bury can find him in the brush right here. He does find the Sivir. Holds on to the ultimate for now.
Yeah, no one really around to follow up on that, unfortunately. And now it will be a Herald in the back pockets of the side of BYG, along with the extra 200 gold. And it does look like they might want to just fight over this red buff. We see the collapse coming. And Burry's going to have to just... Oh, Burry does secure it with the smite. Or he's forced back off.
Didn't look like Minji wanted to do the collapse right there. That was a little bit risky for them, for sure. And I think Beyond Gaming makes the somewhat correct choice not to, you know, throw everything at a red buff. Instead, they stop Unify from getting even more guaranteed gold onto the plates there, and they go back to normal. They still have a winning mid lane to play around, so just taking it slowly until the next Drake. We have Kaiwi now showing up into the mid lane. Very interesting move here. I wonder where he's going to go after this one. Looks like they're going to venture into the red side jungle. These jungle deep wards have just been so impactful throughout the entire series.
Yeah, and
call Minji.
Okay, so Minji forcing Gory to stay. It's actually really, really key because he does have the sustain advantage in the mana bar. So he's just gonna try and crash this wave, whereas Gory really has no other choice than to wait for the wave to fully come in. And Hanabi, I think he knows what's up.
Yeah, he smells something fishy. He knows that there's no one on the bottom side so far, so that must mean Husha is in this corner. He's not going to walk up. He's going to let the wave go away, and Husha respects him for that. I like that. Husha as well just goes back, picks up his items, and, you know, Hanabi still has to play under the assumption that Vi could still be up there.
Yeah. And Hanabi is given some resources to possibly take over. Of course, has the kill. So his Eclipse should come online pretty quickly, especially given the fact that Leakai did opt for the boots, which means that's 300 gold not going into a mythic. So Hanabi positions in a spot where he could potentially really take over this top lane 1v1. And that might be critical in giving PSG that possible out to really allow this area to start scaling up.
We have the Drake coming in, and everyone is coming through this corner to kind of contest this one. We have Husha with the Herald, so there could be a fourth going down somewhere. It looks like Beyond Gaming trying to look for a pick on the side.
Bot lane.
Wow, Hanabi full committing to this one. Beyond Gaming, if they're not, if they don't recognize this, they could walk into the 4v5. See what Beyond Gaming do right here. Kino is going to cleanse out just all right. The TP comes in a little bit late here. Kino going in, catches 3 onto the ramp here. Wako on the side, but they can't push the damage through.
They can't finish off the kill.
Still staying alive into the backline. That's going to be one kill. Leakai with the needlework.
They're too tanky.
Hanabi on the side. They do get one, but the chase down is there for Unify. He goes in too deep. He gets knocked out. He goes down, and that's going to be Gory as well. The charm lands, and Beyond Gaming force the issue. That's going to be a number of kills going over. 1 for 3 trade. Beyond Gaming run down PSG.
BYG, they managed to find the fight. They don't get the dragon. That does go into the hands of PSG, but it is going to be Hex Tech Soul. So definitely combat stats. Everyone are going to be wanting to snag for themselves. And we see the adjustments coming in from BYG. This time, it's going to be the Leandries built up onto the Ori. A little bit more damage here to cut through these meatball targets. And it does look like the adjustments have been made coming in from the coaching staff, relaying to their players as we will see the replay of the fight. Kino gets hit by the CC, and really well done with this unsealed spellbook because he's able to cleanse out, reset the fight. It's cooldowns burned by the side of PSG, and then he sees his opportunity, flashing forward, going in, gets a 3-man, and it looked like Gory's positioning was actually perfect because he's able to eat so much of this. But then, as the fight sort of goes downhill, Unified overextends himself. The side of PSG, they say, oh, it's a free Leakai out on the side, but someone doesn't get the memo.
Yeah, I think they just split targets at the very end there. There was no way Unify would be able to finish off that 1v3. I think that was a communication lapse, unfortunately,
Yep.
for PSG. You know, not really their best execution. Just kind of a miscommunication happening on their side. And you know, coming into Game 5, any one of those mistakes could cost you your path to World. So, hope we get the top level of play from both of these teams. We are taking a look here, and there will be a pause again. We're going to listen into production on what the reason for this pause will be. But so far, looking across the map right here, it still looks like we're going into standard lanes, and we just had the tower plating show up a little bit. It is, I believe, 3-1 in favor of Beyond Gaming.
Yeah, so Beyond Gaming with this gold advantage and the build adjustments, I think really set them on a path that it is a much more possible game for them, right? They don't have to be super far ahead in order to win this game because they have the items to try and deal with it, and they have done a reasonable amount of adaptations in the draft to also help support that. So it's definitely a much more winnable game for the side of Beyond Gaming, whereas in the previous game, if they weren't out to a huge lead, it was going to be nigh impossible for them to make their way back.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot more outs this time. You know, it's not just get a massive lead in laning phase or in early skirmishes and then snowball. They can actually hang with PSG into the late game in this one, even with the Zeri and the Swing on the other side here. Bury might be coming into danger here. There's a lot of things going down. Bury is still unaware of his surrounding. If he goes over the wall right here, he could just run into a charm. Indeed, he does, but he's so tanky right now. Sin is going to be able to get out. We're looking at the collapse here, and it is Beyond Gaming on the objective first. It doesn't look like there's going to be a full contest. Maybe Bury can find the steal here. He does have the flash available to him, but it's a little bit too late. And again, the neutral objective goes to Beyond Gaming.
And it's really just a mythic difference because Bury doesn't have his mythic. Gory doesn't have his mythic. Because BYG do have their mythics online in the mid jungle combination, it means PSG have no other choice than to just concede it. Now, I mean, look at this Minji build. He is already 1.5 items. He is very far ahead of Gory, as Gory should be very close to completing the Leandries, but it does mean you're still lagging a bit behind in your item build.
We have seen PSG just come back from these situations so many times before as well, so you know, we got a long game ahead of us. I like PSG's potential to kind of just get a target on with the Sejuani and just run everyone down. Like, the thing here is, if they find a lucky hit onto Minji, they could just instantly close it down. So that's what we're going to be looking for. The burst potential is there. The most important thing for PSG here is to stick to their targets, not allow Beyond Gaming to kind of weasel their way back and forth across these ramps. We're going to get Beyond Gaming coming in with the Herald Fork here. Very standard play right in front of the Hextech Drake. See if PSG are going to try and stop this. Looks like they're not going to be able to, as they will shove with this Herald. But in comes the engage. The charm lands onto Gory. He goes down. That's a fourth death, but Hanabi is holding down the front. Can he keep on? No. The Needlework cuts him down as well. The decisiveness works out for Beyond Gaming again. They get the tower. They get the kill, and they're turning around for their second Drake.
Second Dragon on the table here. They should have more than enough members to allow the recalls to come through. Some of their carries. I think Wako thought Baron was up and available because he was running straight towards that top lane, but realizes, hey, it's only 17 minutes into the game. Turns his attention back around, and that will be a second Dragon to their name, and that's a 4th death for Gory.
These flash-ins are just killing PSG. We're going to watch this again. I think Gory just got caught off guard here. Watch Kino here as
he got knocked back too.
Flash. Oh, yeah. So unfortunate. He didn't expect that one.
Yeah, actually he got betrayed by the Rift Herald. The Rift Herald getting the knockback, puts him in the perfect position. And Kino takes full advantage of that situation. We saw him excel on the Mumu pick, and if the side of BYG take this game 5, no doubt it's on the back of Kino, only doing 237 damage, but that led to all the rest of the damage pulling through.
A really good chain there. A charm lands after the knockback into Kino, just instantly flashing in, and that just catches PSG off guard again and again. And that's the problem with these battle mages like Swain. If you're not ahead, it feels kind of difficult to play the game out. You don't have the stats to just raw tank your way through.
Yep.
So the way PSG has to play this is they have to rely on Bury. Bury has to lead the charge when it comes to these team fights. Swain can't make it into the fray first. Beyond Gaming now moving towards the top side. Looks like PSG don't really have a say in this one. They're very far behind on the rotation, and big chunk gonna go over.
The big difference here with the Sivir versus the Zeri pickup as well here in this game is the fact that on 2 items, Sivir does do a lot more damage than the Zeri on 2 items. Zeri on 3 items, definitely a different beast, as you will just be able to crit from long range, but Sivir on 2, very, very domineering in these fights, especially when you're able to maintain that front-to-back formation, which is exactly what happened for BYG, because they're the ones initiating these fights. They're not waiting for PSG to come in on flanks, where all of a sudden it becomes a lot more hairy for your Sivir.
Oh, we're going to have a teleport incoming from Kino using the spellbook to the best of his abilities. This should be spotted out. PSG do know that this is here. Corey's still walking up. This could be so dangerous here. I think PSG might be trying to set up a trap to see if they can get something lucky. But there's too many members from Beyond Gaming here, and they do have to back off in the end.
Yeah, PSG just trying to stem the bleeding at this point. Try and get to that second item. Because right now, Gory just sitting on the components of what will most likely be that Zanya's. And Bury still yet to hit the Mythic. Opting for, once more, the Warmog start, which definitely I don't have a big issue with it. It's just a lot harder to utilize it when you are playing from behind.
Yeah, when people can still chunk through you, it makes the Warmog nudge kind of hard to do. We saw what Usha was doing previously in the series. It's just, well, my HP is infinite. You can't kill me with the burst, so I can still walk out. That's not the case when you're going up against this Minji. And we do see the Focus Horizon already done here, so even padding extra damage if she lands the charm. Being very confident about the play coming in here. They do have a ton of immobilization, though, so it certainly could work out. It's very easy to chain this charm when you have a Vi on your team. Beyond Gaming now setting up for this situation. Kami might be caught out here. He's kind of baiting for it. And we do have Beyond Gaming now going into the 1-3-1 with their side lane leads.
And now we're just sort of waiting for this next dragon to spawn. I don't think PSG will go ahead and pull the trigger because it doesn't look like they're very close in some of these item timings. Of course, with Unified only on 2 items, it makes that also a very difficult task. The strongest member, not quite at the same level as the rest of BYG. And that should be a pretty easy 3rd dragon for BYG. And for PSG, the real contest will come around this Baron buff. Trying to prevent BYG from securing that, because if Beyond Gaming do secure that, this game becomes that much harder because you look at their composition, they have no wave clear. It is almost impossible to deal with these super or Baron empowered minions that they will be forced into engages that they do not want to take.
Alright, PSG look like they're gearing up for a contest. Everyone is converging on this spot. They might be able to get Minji. They get the flash out of him. Minji holds on to the Spirit Rush here. He's going in goes.
Oh, another engage!
He gets a 4-man engage across the board right here. Corey is charmed into the front line. He can't do anything. They're just going to burst it through front to back here. Navi on the side. Corey still dealing a lot of damage. Trying to hold the break down. Hold the fort down, and Unified's going in for 4. He found one. Can he get the resets incoming? PSG hold their ground, and they escort Beyond Gaming out of their own turf.
Oh my god, Unified almost had a certified Zeri moment even without those enchanters like the Yumi or that Lulu. Enough protection coming in from the Braum to clear up enough space for him to start outputting that damage. And it definitely was on a knife's edge for the side of PSG. So suddenly full flips the situation, but now they're going to be the ones with position onto the Dragon.
Yep, it's going to be a while until Fuchsia can make it here, but he is going to be in range. 4,000 HP on the Drake right now. No one wants to get it close enough to finish. Let's see if there's a smite where which side does the Drake go to. And it actually resets here, and we have the ricochets on the side. So much damage being done onto Gory already. Leakai just takes Gory down onto the side. So Navi trying to run away from the situation. The Drake does go over to PSG, but how many members can they still have left standing here?
Unified
goes down, Kylie's down, Murray's gone, and that's the triple kill. That's the ace. That's Beyond Gaming marching a big step forward towards a perfect ace with Baron to boot.
Oh my lord, Clement, BYG, they continue to impress in these team fight situations where they're forced to make a play. Boy, do they make a play. That's going to cash in onto a clean ace, and the Baron, that is a huge lead against our reigning champions of PSG. This is a very, very large lead. We'll get to see the replay and keep an eye on Leakai. He is just continuously zoning Gory off of the fight, so by the time he actually gets close, he's already dead. Leakai just does so much damage in that 1v1, and after that, it's just, there's no front line, right? Gory is sort of the big meatball distraction because of his drain tanking capabilities along with the damage. Bury by himself doesn't bring enough of a damage threat for the side of BYG to walk away.
This is what we were talking about. Gory at this point in the game, he cannot act as a front line. Gets caught out on the side there, forced away from the ramp. PSG can't get back into formation, and Beyond Gaming, they get the Sivir resets. That's just why these rundown comps are everywhere these days. You get one reset, you continue with the chase down, and there's not much the enemy team can do. Makes it very one-sided sometimes. I think that fight was actually closer without Sivir right there, but big win for Beyond Gaming. They're now up 8,000 gold. PSG have to pull out a miracle. I think the biggest lead we've seen PSG claw back, definitely in the J-Team games, I think that was about 7K. I don't think we've seen an 8K clawback just yet, but I know if there's a team that can do it, it would be PSG in a team fight.
Yeah, and if you talk about clutch factor, PSG is that orb that has so much clutch factor to them, right? Because of how veteran their players are.
Oh, the stun goes back onto Wako. Can they kill him before he walks out? Is it enough? He's still alive for now. Gory gets the 1,000 gold shutdown. This might be the turn. Fuchsia also falling down. PSG looking for it. In goes Leakai, but he has to force his way through multiple members. They do get Fuchsia out on the end, but no extra kills. Gory holds down the fort for Beyond Gaming. He says not yet. He still want to fight to go for a chance at World.
Kai comes in to help disengage the situation, but for PSG, that is a huge win for them. We talked about the clutch factor, and immediately the 0-kill Swain flashes forward to, or goes forward to get the pick onto the Sivir. They finish him off, and now BYG, you know, those thoughts, perhaps they start churning here. We'll see the replay. Incredible engage coming in from Bury, by the way, because he does get the Ice Bowl landed because of the chain CC coming in from the rest of the kit, which prevents Wako from cleansing all of that CC.
Yeah, Wako actually steps up to the tower range right in front of the Sejuani. Was a little bit of an oopsies for me. His teammates definitely weren't in position, and PSG squeezes the moment. They turn it around.
It was so close
on a dime. Yeah, he nearly got out, but he does have to burn most of his summoners for that one. So, you know, we could have Gory going in again. He has his flash still. He could sit on that Sivir, take away a large part of that damage.
And over on the flip side, though, PSG, their health bars were incredibly low. There was that opportunity that maybe Lee Kai could have mopped up the rest of the team fight. Definitely an instance where you look at his summoners and think maybe the Ghost would have just straight up mopped that fight, and that would have been world's clinch right then and there. But it is going to be now 28 minutes on the clock. BYG still with a really sizable advantage. However, it's without a Baron buff. It's without this extra push power, and it's going to be them just sort of waiting for the next objective to spawn, which is of course very, very soon. And PSG have done enough where, hey, we flipped for that last dragon, secured it. Now we can give away this current dragon.
Yeah. It's a really important point. PSG need a little bit more time. I think especially for Swain to get into the range where he can actually play frontline. That's been the biggest problem for them in team fight so far. Looks like they're just going to give this one away. In return, they do get a lot of warding down onto the top side. Oh, actually, no. Not as much as I would have assumed right here. You get a ward down into the jungle. And we are just kind of waiting for the Baron play here. Beyond Gaming, I think with their engaged potential, they're going to be very happy to force PSG to make tough decisions and face check some of these brushes.
PSG, they will require the snap decision making of Bury, who has stepped up in this game. It's going to require him being able to land a key ultimate, whether or not it's onto Minji or to Wako. Wako will have cleanse available and also his spell shield, so he is a very difficult target to spot out. But if they do lock him down and they do finish him off, the damage is very, very low on the side of BYG, right? Because you are stacking magic resistance. So this double AP solo laners will find a lot less damage in these team fights.
Really good point that you're making here. It's pretty much kill Wako and then roll the rest of the team. That's the game plan here. They've cut the lead from 8 to 6k now. Only Beyond Gaming indeed setting up Baron like we assumed. They do have a pretty fast Baron take with the Ahri on the Leandres here too. So PSG can't play them too far back. You know, they have to stick around. But they do have double blue trinkets here, so I don't see PSG falling for this one. I think they're going to make them wait. You know, they have Bury in the front line. He should be somewhat unkillable at this point. And they've expended one blue trinket. That's the second one going down now. Beyond Gaming going in, though. Charm doesn't land, a little bit short there. And they spot Hanabi, so they know this is a full 5-minute contest here. Munji is unspotted on the side, looking for that charm. And yeah, PSG, I think with all their blue trinkets, they can play this relatively safe, but this looks to be pretty explosive. Hushak goes in onto the Navi. He was sitting on a ward and he didn't know about it. Can he survive? He gets them all.
They finish him off.
He's got so much.
They don't have the damage.
He's still alive. He can't charge through. Gory's holding down the front here, and we just saw Pito go in, but he misses Gory as he comes out of Zanias. They get the one kill onto Husha. That's the jungle down. That's the Baron pressure gone. And PSG live to fight another day. They're cutting these leads smaller and smaller again and again.
BYG, it's back to the drawing table with this Vi pick. They immediately go in for the engage, but unfortunately, the damage not quite there. Wako. The flash coming in from Hanabi actually puts them far away enough from Wako, and remember, they have a lot of magic resistance stacked. So, the double solo laners isn't enough, but we're going straight into a Baron take. Lee Kai's taking a 1v1.
They're gonna smite this one away. Massive amount of gold being earned here,
fight?
and they're going in for
Wako?
more. Beyond Gaming are willing to fight this one through. Husha's coming up to get the chase here. Can the charm land? It does go on to Bury, and in goes the crowd control. First kill already down, and Hanabi getting dangerously low right there. Can he survive? In comes Husha.
Husha's here!
Have the season desist. They're gonna finish off everyone. The top side collapses. And even though the Baron is secure, PSG only have their top laner alive. this could be a massive push. 47 seconds onto
40
Glory.
seconds on the
Can
carry.
they actually finish this one? Beyond Gaming, they're eyeing for Worlds. They want to go to North America. I don't think Glory's going to be alive for this one. It's Hanabi against the world. Can Hanabi make it here? He's the only thing that's stopping them.
Wave.
He has the stasis. He needs to cut this one down, but they're going on to him. Stasis is going to buy him some time, but there's still 20 seconds off.
It's
Hanabi
the
tries
Nexus
his
down!
best, but he's going down. No, the Nexus drops, and congratulations to Beyond Gaming. They are the 6th seed that drop into the lower bracket and make it all the way to the top. They will be representing the PCS at Worlds in 2022.
The dream run is capped by Beyond Gaming. Coming in as the 6th seed, they find the upset against J-Team, they find the upset against DCG, and while they stumbled against CFO, they come back and in a rematch of last year's spring and summer finals, they win out and book their ticket to North America.
I can't believe this. 3 different players on this squad. They kept Benny and Ulala on the coaching staff, and that seems to have played out. They've grown their synergy in some of these players, and they are once again going to represent. On the other end, we do have PSG. This is going to be the first time they miss out on Worlds from the PCS region. You can see that they're having a bit of a sad moment right there. I can definitely feel their pain here. They've done so well in the regular split. They secured that 1st seed, but I feel a lot of the issues that were in the regular season did come to haunt them in the postseason. The inability to play tempo, the relatively limited roster of their champions that they could master here. And in the end, it will be Beyond Gaming that makes the miracle run.
For PSG, it definitely felt, you mentioned those issues, it definitely felt like they just didn't have enough time to resolve those issues. You feel like perhaps if this was the LEC or LCS where it is a 9 or 10 week season, they find a way to iron out all of those problems. But because I think of the core issue of the communication, that ended up being the final hurdle they just could not clear.
Yeah, and well, this is history being written right now. The first time PSG